Lion Nation, a pleasant hello to you out there. Here with another episode of Coach's Corner. My guest, Lions head football coach Victor Santa Cruz. And I guess we didn't get the memo today about dressing alike, Coach.
No, did the twins thing really well. Twins said, yeah. So hey, great minds think alike. Great thing that they do. And so I'm fired up though. Hey, that's just projecting teamwork. Everybody's on the same page. I like it.
Teamwork, chemistry. We're down pat now. We've been doing this long enough to know that it's obviously an important aspect of any team. And let's jump into this week. We'll talk about our opponent coming up. Obviously, the Lions in the middle of Trinity League looking for a big victory, and they have a big game on Thursday night, not Friday night this week. Thursday night, 7:30 kickoff, not 7 o'clock, at Trabuco Hills High School. The opponent, Santa Margarita Catholic High School. Coach, just take us through coming off of last week's game, the mentality shift and getting ready for this opponent, Santa Margarita, on Thursday.
Mentality shift is the right word for it because we're a very talented team, and the Trinity League demands the very best from you week in and week out. And the Red School we played last week, obviously they're number one in the country. But you look at it, and the big takeaway from that, and this is for me speaking to my team, is that guys, it's just a few plays here and there, and and so it wasn't like in the past where it's like, okay, man, just explosive. You could tell it was not evenly matched. This one right here was like, man, we're closer. We've grown into this new type of program, and what I love about being in this league is that everybody's competing really hard to keep getting their program stepping up their game, and so it takes a different mentality. It takes a mindset to be all in every moment, and when the time is on, you got to be on, and that's what we're growing into right now.
You talked about some of those positives, and the feeling coming out of that game last week was we deserve to be on the field. We deserve to compete with them, which obviously I think we showed that. There were a couple players that I wanted to highlight and get your thoughts on. Madden Faraimo, who's a handle, a load anytime he steps on the field. 9 tackles, a tackle for losses, forced fumble as well last week. He is somebody I think who just demands attention too. And Logan Christensen. He had a 77-yard kickoff return. That's his third kickoff return this season of over 75 yards. He's got 5 total of over 40 yards. Just talk a little bit about how those two senior leaders are kind of stepping up and how they can be infectious for some of the other guys on your team.
Well, I'll start with Logan, and just because I'm so proud of what he's grown into becoming. From last year, just getting to coach him, seeing a guy who's athletic, guy who you could see he could make a big impact on both sides of the ball, but he was still green and growing into it. And then you see a senior year, what you want for every senior is just this campaign where he shows himself as a real weapon when it comes to the special teams, the kickoff return. He's obviously proven a weapon at receiver, and then defensively. Man, this guy has just been one of those safeties that he roams the field, he tackles well in the box. But I can't overstate what he can do in a kickoff return. And it speaks a lot to who the whole group of kickoff return team. But you got to have a guy that can really make it go and explain. It's a one-cut read, and he's got the speed to accelerate and take it to the end zone. So it's a great deal for Logan. I'm excited for him. And then also when it goes to Madden, you're talking about the number one linebacker in the country. Yeah. And you can say all about, ESPN has this, ESPN has that. I'm coming from the other perspective. I'm coming from the college perspective of who can play now, who can get in there and make an impact now. And so that's the thing. Madden is already making a huge impact here, but when you're talking about a guy, when you're in those rivals rankings, ESPN rankings, there's other people who have maybe ranked a little higher, but I can see them on film. They're not physically anywhere in the same ballpark as Madden. Madden's a play now guy at any big school, whether a Big Ten, SEC, or what we have left. We have the ACC now. I was about to say Pac-12, but that's gone now too. So, but anyhow, I'm really proud of him, and he's a great leader. He's a humble servant to this football team, and it's just the kind of guy you love coaching, and it's going to be those ones that I'll forever kind of follow his career and just be a big fan of who he is.
Now, obviously, both of those gentlemen, Logan Christensen and Madden Faraimo, will have big impacts on this week's game and this week's opponents, Santa Margarita Catholic Eagles. They come into this 3-5. They're 0-3 in league. Obviously, they need a victory just as badly as JSerra does. Talk a little bit about the matchup. They have a team that features a very explosive weapon. We'll see if he plays or not. He's been a little beat up. And Trent Mosley. Just talk a little bit about the challenge of the Eagles this week.
Well, you see, they have weapons, and Gazinga, the quarterback, does a great job of staying alive, extending plays. I mean, he's a 6'7" kid. He looks 240 on it, but the fact that he has the big arm, he can extend plays, and when you think of dual threat quarterbacks, he doesn't jump off the film like that. When you watch the film, it's like, man, he is able to be very efficient when he scrambles. And so when we put him in that category as a dual threat quarterback, I think they present some real issues when it comes to the multiple formations. They're the most pass happy team as I see in our league. But then defensively, Steve Afita has been doing a good job with just getting his guys running the ball and just playing good defense. So all in all, I think it comes back to it's a rivalry week. We get that. But in a moment like this, it comes down to we got to play our football like we know we can play our football. I think our guys have prepared well in a short week. Everybody's excited for the game. And the bottom line is this: any week in Trinity League week, everybody's fighting scratch for the victory. Because this team, these games we played, last 3 games, you could flip it any direction throughout the course of the game. And that's what I love about this whole league. And that's why the guys that play in this league, and particularly our guys, like, hey, you got to be on your A game all the time. And that's kind of how you practice, how you grow into the program, how you adapt and build out your program. It's got to create that type of championship behavior to say I'm in the moment at the time.
Well, the moment this week will be Thursday night football, 7:30 over at Trabuco Hills High School, North Mission Viejo, right on the border there. The opponent, Santa Margarita Catholic High School, the Eagles, JSerra. A rivalry for sure, but obviously a game that both teams will be looking to win. We look forward to seeing Lion Nation out there, and we'll see if Coach and I will be dressed similarly on Thursday night as well, too. Lion Nation, thank you so much. This is Coach's Corner. For my guest, Lions head coach Victor Santa Cruz. We'll see you again soon.